So what part of a guy that doesn't have to listen made you listen?
No, I think, Nelson, there's something very cerebral about you that I didn't necessarily listen to everybody, and I wasn't necessarily
That's
looking.
what I mean. I know.
Yeah, so I just think with you, for me, I never understood this. I understand why athletes outgrow their peak performance. I understand why a basketball player will not be in his 30s what he was in his 20s. I get that. In business and in life, I mean, I'm 49 and I feel like I haven't even begun to hit my peak. I mean, I hope the best is ahead of me and not behind me. So for me, this experience in business and in life that you brought made me just really listen. So even if I didn't agree, and there was a lot of things that me and you didn't agree on,
100%.
but I actually knew you were coming from a perspective of life experience. And I don't think too much of us don't put enough credence on business experience and life experience. We have some people at Spartan right now. I'm going to shout out Rick Rollins. Rick Rollins brings such a wealth of information and knowledge, but experience to the company. And I put you in that same boat. You brought a level of experience to me personally. I think, and realistically, you did some great things at Spartan, but I think you were almost maybe even better for me at the time when I didn't have coaches, when I didn't have YPO, where I really didn't have a lot of people that I could really be honest with and talk and sort of figure this out. You were just and you're a great listener. I think one of your best skill sets is we can be in a room, and I'm a great talker, right?
Yes, you are.
So you would listen to me, and you would really think about what you wanted to say to me. And so I hung on a lot of those words because you were coming at it from a position of experience in a lot of different levels.
I appreciate that. I think that was the secret sauce, right? And you know what's funny about it? And again, I don't know how you feel, but as I look back, there was no agenda. Like, I don't know if a lot of individuals doing what we did together with you bringing me in, that agendas would have gotten in the way. But there wasn't any. I wasn't coming in to say, you do this, hey, you do. I was just coming in going, this is awesome, right? I mean, like I remember mundane things. I'm going, hey, do you know what your turnover rate was? Well, no, we've never looked at it. Okay, let's look at it. Oh, it's good over here, but terrible. Like little stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, what I love about what you do, which is really interesting, and you still do it today, is you learn something you didn't know. And when I say learn you didn't know, you didn't realize. And now all of a sudden you got it. And now it's, hey, how are we doing on this?
Right.
How can we do this better? Or what was our orientation back in the day? Hey, be here Monday, 8 o'clock. Okay. What's an I-9? I don't know. You need a copy of license? What's a license? I mean, I'm joking in a little, and then all of a sudden, as we talk about it, you're like, I am not the guy to get us to have a good orientation, but I know we need it.
Right.
Help.
Yeah.
That's what I admired. That's what the fun part was, right? We ended up doing some special projects together. I built a freaking food truck. I don't know anything about. I mean, I built a mobile showroom.
Well, we turned a food truck into a mobile show.
But again, you would ask, have you ever done this stuff? And I'm like, sure. Of course I hadn't. But we can. I am of the. I guess, and maybe I'm crazy. I think any of us can do, or certain people can do almost anything. And I don't mean that in a braggadocious, crazy way. It's just that if you put your mind to it and you're given an opportunity, you're crazy if you don't say yes. And I mean that for all people. I think if you get an opportunity and somebody wants you to do something, go for it. That's how I feel. And I think too many of us hesitate because if we don't think we can do it perfect, we don't want to do it. And then we lose. And then the whole company loses, no matter what type of company. So that was the kind of stuff that I love doing, and that you gave me the opportunity.
I would just tell you that, I mean, I know what your future plans are. I mean, listen, let's let the audience know. I mean, we're here to talk, but we're really here to promote your consulting business that you're about to kick off, which I'm super excited for you, and I think it's long overdue.
I appreciate it.
And I just really believe that everybody does not know where their blind spots sit. So for me, I resemble that comment. Throughout my whole life, personal and professional, I never really knew where my blind spots were. I never asked somebody, hey, what am I missing? What, really break me down as a CEO. Break me down as a father. Break me down as a husband. Break me down as a friend, right? You don't know where your blind spots really exist. And I think that's really what it is. So as we grew, I'm someone that loves to know what I'm missing, because I don't want to be missing it forever.
Yeah.
I want to fix it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how. You don't have to be an owner or an entrepreneur. You can be an executive in a corporation. You could be a mid-level manager in an organization. I believe if your goal is to get better at whatever level you are within your organization or your career, or whatever time you are in your career, I think we all can benefit from outside influences. Now, I've never had a therapist in my life. God knows I probably need one, right? So, I mean, whether it's a therapist, whether it's an executive coach, I think we all need someone that can be brutally honest to us and look at us from their perspective. A lot of us lack self-awareness about how we're perceived. I know how I perceive myself.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't necessarily know how somebody else perceives me. So when you can have someone that doesn't necessarily have an agenda other than helping to make you better, I think whatever that cost is, that monetary cost, if you're really focused on growing your career and adding a work-life balance to your life, I think it's a small investment in just making life better.
I agree. And I think you hit it on the head. And my coach in me, my basketball coach in me, right, goes back to, we were just talking off air before we got together that your second oldest son is having a tremendous basketball season.
He's having a good season.
Junior varsity, right? I coached him 3 years ago. The pandemic kind of messed stuff up, but probably 3 years ago. And he was good, and you could see the potential, but he wasn't where he wanted to be. So what did he do? You got him some coaching, and he worked his butt off.
Yep.
So somehow, it's funny because we're both sports guys, right? But the sports analogy often leaves with some of these executives because they feel that, or I see that they get to a level where they don't need coaching, but they're the first ones to say, I need to get my people coaching because they're not doing well enough. And you kind of sit there going, oh, wait a second here, doesn't it? Maybe you need to be coached up a little bit better too, right? You might be a little better with your leadership. You might, and we've got to all know that we all got to be coached up. There's got to be someone who's got to coach us, and it doesn't matter who. That's my general feeling with everybody. So, and what I'm going to try and do, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go out, start talking to people, see who really wants to get to that next level, and grow. And the key to it is you don't have to be friends before, but the key is you have to have a relationship in any kind of coaching thing. I've coached for 25 years. I have kids that now coach my basketball program that have kids that I coached when they were 12 years old. Dylan, your oldest, played on an unbelievable basketball team, the best basketball team I ever coached in my life. Not with the best players I've ever coached in my life, but with the best team. So the whole coaching thing is, this. I go back to the point earlier about you're at the top, you're at the apex, you're there, right? But there's nobody above you. So
well, there is now.
There is now. But there's, when you had your own, again, you didn't have that outlet.
Yeah.
And people we can help at that level, right? Because we can help. So I'm super excited. Going to be coming out probably in January with the website, all under work right now. BNN.
Do we have a name of the company?
Yeah, BNN Partners.
And what does that stand for?
Well, it's pretty interesting. 15, 17 years ago, I had my own business, or probably about 25 years ago, for about 15 years. And the company was BNN Associates. My children's name are Byron and Nathan and Nelson. So it was BNN Associates, and it was national recruiting, and I did some training out of that. And then when I got back into corporate life, obviously that went away. And as I was getting back to this, I have a son that's a major in the Air Force. 33 years old, he's a major in the Air Force.
Nathan, we thank you for your service, buddy.
Sharp as a tack, just sharp as a tack. And when this came through, obviously talking to my kids, because we're super close, and said, here's what I'm looking to do. And he said, I want to teach. So from a training side, which will be some other things we'll be doing, I've got, this major in the Air Force that's willing to train. Again, he won't come in and train military. This is but it's interesting to have that military side and find out what they're doing. And we've done some training, did some training last year with 6 military and 6 private sector, and taught some leadership. And it was cool because at the end of this leadership, the military guy said, wow, we're closer to the private sector than we thought, right? And we want to move more that way. And these private sector people were saying, wow, we can use a lot of what we heard you say today. So we're not that far apart. So for me to be able to offer a major in the Air Force to come in and talk to your group about leadership, it's pretty cool. And my other son has got Byron's a data analytics guy, got a double math degree. Well, he can go in. You want to know anything about Excel, all that stuff, he can train that. So we've got some other I call them little cabinets we can open and do some training. But again, with me, it's all about this. But it was my son Nathan just said, I want BNN to be there again. So it was pretty cool, right? I mean, our family. That's
No.
It fits right in with what we do.
So I would just leave with this from my perspective. Listen, this is just my opinion. This isn't fact. I think everyone at every level needs a coach. I think Nelson offers a ton. I think you don't have to be an owner of your own business. You don't have to be a crazy entrepreneur. I think wherever you are, and I think people should really, especially this time of the year, do some soul searching and how you want to get to the next level. And I knew I couldn't do it by myself. I haven't done anything in my career by myself. And I think that's the trap. When you think you can do it by yourself, you don't realize you can't until it's too late. And that's not just from a success in business. I think it's from an overall success in life. So I would just say we've been through a lot together. Yeah. This roller coaster that we've been on. But I thank you for your friendship. I have so much respect for you as a family man. I've learned a lot from you, and I'm super excited to watch this journey, your next path of your career, which I think you've always sort of been destined to do, and everything is built up to this point. So I'm gonna sit back and watch it, and if I'm fortunate enough to be somewhat of a part of it, super cool. If not, I'm just gonna be a big supporter. So thank you for everything.
Well, thank you. Like I said, I would close with. It's just amazing to have a live recommendation from a friend, but also a business coworker, and somebody that, again, in the industry, man, doesn't get any better than you. So I appreciate everything you did. I appreciate you giving me that opportunity when you did, and I'm with you. This is something I wanted to do for a long time, and I think you helped set me up to get there. So appreciate it, and you will be called on when I get stuck and I go, hey, Kev, what the hell do I do right here? So
good.
I appreciate you very much.
Thanks, Nelson.
Thank you, Kevin Jablon.
You got it, buddy.
Appreciate it.
See you, bud.
Thanks, bud.